Hey Capricorn, it's Tasha, aka Mama Jim, aka Jim the Butterfly, and I'm here with your May 2016 monthly general tarot scope. I've already taken the time to pre-shuffle the deck, and I got your cards out. Guys, you have a lot of stuff to focus on for your Mercury retrograde. I was led to pull 3 cards for you, so I'm very interested. And I feel like when I pull those cards, I haven't looked at any of the cards yet, but for whatever reason, I feel like this is going to be, my first thought is that this is going to be geared towards my single Capricorns, because if you go ahead and look at the Capricorn love video, I did say that my single Capricorns are going to be in a point of a place of introspection. So I feel like this is really going to be geared to you, but I feel like it's going to be applied to all, but definitely geared toward my singles, okay? I'm very interested to see what these cards are. All right, so here we go. See what we have coming in. General energy. The 4 of Cups. The challenge for the month is the 7 of Cups. What's coming in as what's going on in your subconscious mind or your underlying thoughts is the 7 of Pentacles. What has led you up to this point in time, or what has happened in the past, the Hangman. What's going on currently right now in your life, the 10 of Pentacles. And coming in for the near future, ooh, you guys have the Death card. All right. So let me just tell you right off the jump what I feel with the heart of the situation. You have the 4 of Cups here. And I feel like this is you wanting more out of life. You're not, I mean, you feel like you're just existing. You don't feel like you're actually living life. I feel like life it feels pretty boring to you in a sense. It feels mundane. It feels like life feels pretty dry to you. Like there's not a whole bunch of excitement. I feel like for some of my Capricorns, you've been spending your days doing some drinking and just in a lot of thought, in deep reflection. Really daydreaming. Yeah, like you've been spending your time as if you're daydreaming, but I hear you saying, I wish I could do this. I wish life would be like that, which is, not like my Capricorns, okay? You guys usually are just real methodical in how you plan out how you're going to accomplish or attempt whatever you're trying to obtain in life, or reach whatever goal you're trying to reach in life. But I feel like your life feels sedentary right now. You may just be a little tired too. But I just feel like you just want more out of life. You're just not satisfied. Maybe you've reached a point in your life, because I feel like I don't feel like it has to do with money. And again, going back to the love reading, my singles, you guys are in a pretty good spot. My couples are in a pretty good spot. But I just feel like you're not enthused about life right now, as a whole. And I think this is you. When I see the 4 of Cups here, this is probably like you sitting up under the tree trying to figure out, what is life? What is the meaning of life? Why am I here? Like that's what I feel like. Is this my only existence, to just be here and to live and to, go to work and come home and just, I feel like you just want more, okay? As a challenge, though, you have all of these thoughts going in and out of your mind. I feel like with the challenge with the 7 of Cups, the challenge is for you to organize those thoughts. Okay, I feel like your thoughts are all over all over the place. I feel like your thought pattern is cloudy. I feel like you've been easily distracted, which again is not like you. It makes me feel like you're in a transitional period, or you're about to enter a transitional period, because you do have the Death card coming up. I feel like right now you're in a state of contemplation, and you're trying to figure out, okay, what is it that I can let go of? Where is it that I can go from here? And I actually feel like you have been letting some things go. Because coming up in the past, you have the Hangman. So I do feel like you've had some drama and some turmoil, just stress. You know, everything has been pretty busy around you. You really haven't had time to just sit down and think. And you decided just to give it up. You know, maybe you have cut down on some of your hours, or you know, you cut down or cut back on some extra activities that you used to do because you just needed some time by yourself. I feel like for some of you may be a little overworked as well. But right now you're just kind of learning to be in the moment, which is, you know, you guys are movers and shakers, you know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of hard for you to just sit there, but that's what I see you doing in the month of May. Just sitting there and thinking. Sitting up in your room like Brandy. That's what I feel. You know what I mean? But you're thinking of a master plan. But I feel like, whereas before for you it's been really easy for you to map out your life, it's a little difficult right now, and it could be just because Mercury is in retrograde. Okay? But even if you feel like you're not being very productive, I feel like what you don't see is that you are being very productive in your thoughts. You have a lot of thoughts here that you're throwing around. I just feel like they're not all that organized the way that they usually would be. You may feel a little overwhelmed because you have so many ideas in your mind, and you're feeling pressed to make a decision. I don't feel like you should be you shouldn't feel pressed to make a decision right now about whatever your next step is. And it's so opposite of who you are or how you usually operate, Capricorn. And I feel like that's more so towards my Capricorn sons, and maybe my Capricorn moons, more so than anybody else. What's going on in your subconscious? Again, you have the card of contemplation and reassessment. This is the underlying theme for your whole reading, is you're trying to figure out where do you want to go next, because where you are right now, you're not satisfied. You have the mindset of wanting to reach abundance, or maybe, you know, money is good. If you've been looking for a job or looking for money to come in, money is going to come in. This is you. I feel like for some of you, this is you. If you've had a mindset of coming from a place of lack, this is you establishing more of a mindset of abundance. Okay, thinking big. Okay. And then as you move into with the Death card, you're going to be, I feel like by the end of the month, those thoughts, those ruminating thoughts that you have, or that cloudiness is going to start to dissipate, and the picture will be clearer for you towards the end of the month as to what you need to do, so you can get up from this tree. Okay. But, you know, don't look at this time right now, if you're feeling like you're being unproductive, don't look at this time as just wasted time, because again, what you will see by the end of the month, that it wasn't wasted time. You were able to come up with some very good ideas. But this is just a time that I feel like for some of you, it was just a time for you to sit down anyway. Like, you've been working very hard, and so the universe had to come in and kind of just sit you down. And that's what you did. You've been sitting for a minute. And I feel like, you know, looking back at the past, it's like you you decided, okay, well, I got so much stuff going on. Like I said, you let some things go, but you still remained attached to it. When I see the hangman, see how he's still attached to this wheel? Like, I'm going to still keep my foot on, I'm going to still, keep yourself involved in it. You didn't completely detach from it. And so eventually it got to the point where, you know what? You had to disconnect yourself from the wheel, and now you're just sitting here. So now you really feel stagnant. But don't look at it that way, because I feel like what the intention was from the very beginning, when you see the hangman, it is to let go and just trust and know that you're going to be okay. And I think you guys did attempt to let go, but you didn't completely let go. You still had some doubt. You still had some negative thoughts in there. You still had some strong doubt is what I feel. Like, I'm going to do it, but it's about control. You like to have a little bit of control too. So you didn't completely give up control. Okay? And so because you didn't completely give up control, things carried on the way that they would have with this wheel here. And it actually tired you out. And so now this is where you are, in a place where you're forced to just sit down and take a reassessment of what's going on in your life, what has transpired, and what do you want next out of life. Okay? Let's look and see what these Mercury retrograde cards are. The first one, victim. The second one is guilt. Yeah, this is for my singles, definitely. And the other one is gossip. 2 cards for the heart chakra, 1 card for the sacral chakra. Starting off with guilt, I'm not even going to talk about the victim and gossip just yet. Let's start off with guilt. What I will say to you, my Capricorn friends, is just like I was talking about earlier. I feel like with you taking this break, you feel like you chose to take this break. Well, let me just let you know that Spirit sat you down because you needed to take this break. Okay? I feel like a lot of you felt like you were in control of something, but you're coming to realize that you really were not in control. And you're so used to moving and shaking and handling business and hustling that you're actually feeling a little guilty for having to sit down and take time for yourself and just to recollect yourself. I feel like with this is, no, don't allow yourself to feel guilty for taking time out for you. And I feel like for you guys, you hold yourself at such a high standard. It's very unrealistic. There's nothing wrong with keeping yourself accountable and holding yourself to a standard. But I feel like for the standard that you guys are holding yourself to, in the past and for right now, is too high. Okay? You have to realize that you're a human just like everybody else. And, I'm not saying this to be condescending, but I know that when there's something that you want, you go after it, and you go after it hard, and you're so driven and you're so focused. And you tend to neglect other areas in your life. And I feel like right now you're feeling guilty you feel like you're neglecting other areas in your life because you feel stagnant. And you're feeling guilty about it. But understand, this is the creative period for you. Okay? This is a creative period for you. You have all of these ideas coming at you. Okay? All of these options. You're doing a lot of daydreaming right now. And I feel like, honestly, even if you were feeling up to 100%, you probably still would not perform at 100% at this point right now. Because your mind is too cloudy. You don't have clarity of thought. Okay? And so you're so used to having that clarity that you're feeling guilty about it. Please do not feel guilty about that, babies. Okay? Other card that I have here. Again, with this, I feel like this the gossip card is something else that Yeah, I guess it is something that you guys could be worried about. It's almost like, I feel like I talked to you guys about that before. Um, this gives me the feel of trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to make sure that, you have the best of everything, or worrying about what people are going to say about you. Now, the lady in the card in this particular card, she was always the talk of the town. She was like the free spirit, and everybody just talked about her. But yes, she had a heart of gold, and people, they didn't appreciate her while she was here. She eventually died, and I think she was like an artist or something. And when they went into her home, I guess to clean up her home, or however the story went, they saw all of these beautiful pictures that she painted of the townspeople, and they realized that they misjudged her. Okay, she really, look at the green. She's represented by the heart chakra. She's full of love, like she had a very lively spirit. And so I feel like for you, when we're talking about gossip, is that you shouldn't get yourself caught up in worrying about what other people have to say about what you're doing or what you're not doing at this present moment. What you're doing right now should not be of any concern to anybody else. Okay? This is about your emotional health. This is about your mental health. Okay, we know this is about emotions. We have two cards dead in the center that are cup cards. Cup cards represent emotions. You're in an emotional spot right now. And I feel like for some of you, it's a little hard for you to even deal with, because I feel like you try to, almost like sword signs in a way, try to rationalize emotions. And you're being placed in a spot in your life where you're being forced to address these emotions that you have. Okay? This does not make you weak. Okay? This makes you human. This makes you a person who has feelings. This makes you a person who has a heart. Okay? All of these parts of yourself have to be examined. When I said earlier, I think this ties to, strongly ties to my single Capricorns, most definitely. Because I feel like for some of you, and I know this is not a love reading, but it ties in, and if the message comes, I have to tell you. But I feel like for some of my single Capricorns, especially the ones that are in their, I would say, late 20s going up to early 40s, maybe even older, who are not in a committed relationship. Some of you have gotten out of a relationship that was not good for you, and you are still wondering, like, you're hopeful about marriage, but and a part of you don't really care what people say, but there's a part of you, like, this is not how the plan was supposed to go. I hear some of you saying, I was supposed to be married with 3 kids to whoever by the time I was 35, or by the time I was 33. My plan did not work out. What are people going to say about me? I am 40 years old and I don't have any children and I haven't gotten married. Or I've missed out on raising a family because I chose to, concentrate my majority of my young adult life on getting my education and starting my career, and now, I'm pretty settled in my life. I don't know if I want children now. I don't know if I want marriage now. What will people say? And you're feeling, you may be feeling a little bit of guilt because you didn't put that time towards raising a family, or toward focusing on your family. But, that's neither here nor there, babies. At this point, what is done is done. We cannot go on trying to live in the past, because the past is done. Okay? There's no need to feel guilty about it. There's no need to worry about what other people what they have to say about you, or to judge you, because you, at that time, you were doing what you wanted to do. Okay? And I feel like for some of my Capricorns, you're going back and you're looking back at these times in your life thinking, was I right Was I, did I do the right thing? Of course you did the right thing. You did the right thing with the knowledge that you had at that time. Okay? Maybe it wasn't time. I feel like if it was time for you to have a baby, you would have had a baby. If it was time for you to get married, you would have gotten married. If it didn't happen, it didn't happen for a reason. Okay? So you got to get out of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And I feel like that does also contribute to one of the reasons why you're not happy with life. It's like you're thinking, okay, I have all of this stuff, but maybe I should have, done X, Y, Z in the past. Because you're at a point now that you thought that your life would have more than what it has. But I feel like if you look closer, Capricorns, you'll realize that your life is very abundant, way more abundant than you give yourself credit. I think you guys are just very tough critics on yourself. Okay? Let me just look at, here's the Wisdom for Healing card. Break negative habits, okay? How appropriate is to run from that, okay? Run from those negative habits that you place upon yourself, okay? Being a perfectionist can be helpful, but it can also hurt you in the same manner, because when you don't achieve something in the time frame or how you thought you should achieve it, then you start to beat yourself up. And I see you guys doing that, Capricorn. Let's look at the lesson. It says, be cognizant of one negative practice you engage in that causes you to lose power. You are on E. You're tired. And work on changing that situation. This could be thinking negative thoughts, overeating, or constantly late. Your goal is to recognize that modifying or releasing unproductive habits can be challenging and even unpleasant, but it's essential that you do so. Okay? This is what the Death card is telling you. You have to let this go, baby. I brought this situation in for you to let it go. I created chaos around you for you to let it go. But you held on, you let go a little bit. You let one foot loose, but you still have another foot that's bound. Okay? It's saying, cut the chain to this foot. Okay? Cut the chain. Be free. Allow the energy of the Death card to come in and sweep out all of these negative thoughts and habits that you have. Stop doubting yourself. Stop blaming yourself. Stop living in a place of guilt. Okay? Your life is abundant right now. You are very, very blessed. Whether you have or you don't have the things that you want, you are still abundant. Okay? So, keep that in mind, Capricorn. Use this time wisely. I feel like this is a very good time for my Capricorns to journal and read. Definitely journal down the thoughts all of these thoughts here, to get organization of these thoughts, write them down. Okay? Because I feel like they're so flighted, they're not grounded. If you don't write them down, you're going to lose them. And they're pretty good ideas. Okay? Write them down. Get you a journal. Write it down. And so then once that clarity starts to come back in towards the end of the month, going into of June, you can use those notes that you wrote in your journal and go back to reflect, and then you can continue to move forward. Okay? So go back and look at ways that you have made yourself a victim. Go back and look at and reassess ways or review ways that you allow the opinions of others to dictate your actions in your life. Go back and examine why you feel guilty for attending to yourself. Okay? These are just helpful focus areas that you can concentrate on during Mercury retrograde. Mercury will go direct on the 22nd of May, so you have the majority of this month to focus on these areas, Capricorn. So just continue along the way and just be okay with this transitional period. I know you're not used to this this slow rate of speed. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. It just came out. I'm so sorry. Just be appreciative for this moment, because I feel like once you get up from under your tree, things are going to start to move very fast. So you're going to be looking back at that time, at this time right now, wishing that you had some free time. So utilize this free time to brainstorm, okay? And excuse me, and let go of that blame and that guilt that you have, guys. You're doing the best that you can. You did the best that you could. Always remember that. And you always are doing the best that you can. Even when you think that you're not, you are. Okay? Even in this moment of stillness, you are still moving. So I hope this gives you some words of encouragement. I love you guys, my Capricorns. If this situation resonates with you and you would like to get a personal reading with me, please hit me up. I love you guys. Bye.